I spent hours looking at the best way to destroy every Minecraft mob, from the easy to kill to the ones which seem to be literally immortal. I found a way to defeat them all. If you finish this video, you'll be able to annihilate every single mob in the whole game. So stick around and subscribe, it's completely necessary here. The Iron Golem is really strong, really fast, and will cleanse you of your species if you give him a funny look. However, if you want to beat him, you don't need a sword, or an axe, or even a bow. If you use ladders, the Iron Golem can't follow you because it's unable to climb the ladders. So it makes killing him go from a bit of a challenge to a really easy kill. Just look at all the iron. Allies are super useful for carrying loads of cool items like the flesh of the deceased, for example. But unsurprisingly, the pillager is a bit of an obstacle for them, considering they're imprisoned by them and all. I would consider being held in captivity a weakness. They're a pain to get because killing the pillagers to get them is really annoying. The useless glow squid's biggest weakness is that it's at the bottom of the ocean. So not only is it pointless in the game, but it's also a hassle to go and find. They, as well as the ally, can't really fight back. So if you're trying to kill them and you die in Minecraft to a glow squid, then maybe Minecraft's not for you. Go play chess or something, I don't know. On the topic of mobs which can't fight back, I'm gonna read these mobs as fast as I can with only one breath. Alright. 3, 2, 1. Sheep, axolotl, mushroom, squid, bat, chicken, ocelot, spider, cow, pig, tropical fish, cod, salmon, horse, mule, donkey, parrot, cat, fox, frog, rabbit, skeleton, horse, snow golem, tadpole, turtle, villager, and wandering trader. That was actually pretty comfortable. Wow. But we're going to revisit some of the mobs I just listed off later. Bees have one outstanding weakness, which is, well, the fact that they don't have a lot of health. But this means that the Thorns enchantment is ridiculously strong on them. So if you end up in a situation like this somehow, then pray that you have Thorns handy to escape. Panda's weakness is hilarious. One of Minecraft's best and worst features all in one. It actually breaks my heart, but I can't help but laugh at it. It's when they end up somewhere high off, like on top of a tree or something, and they say screw it and roll off. Just why? Why roll off a tree to your death? Cave spiders. Ooh, this is a good one, because these guys are the most annoying mob ever. So killing them is going to be great fun. Well, if you didn't know, they actually have a bigger hitbox in their body, and is actually proportionally bigger than the spider's hitbox, which makes no sense, but it makes killing them 1000% easier. You can be terrible with your shots and still land a load of hits. Have you ever been to another dimension and thought, you know what, I'm bored of being human, I'm gonna turn into something else, like a chicken? Well, the hoglin and the piglin are way ahead of you. If either of them end up in the overworld, they actually become zoglins and zombified piglins, but the worst part is, they can't change back. If they return to the nether, they remain stuck in their new form. Wait, does that mean... Oh no. If there's one thing people know about me, it's that I hate wandering traders. But if there's something else that people know about me, it's that I hate dolphins. These guys can die in a hole. But how can I make them die in a hole? Well, if you bring them out of the water and leave them there, they will suffocate in the air and literally die in a hole. Which is an appropriate way to die for what I like to call Satan's henchmen. Yeah, it's not realistic to real life, but it feels amazing. Polar bears lead sad and lonely lives in Minecraft, so putting them out of their misery might actually be doing them a favor. Poor guys. Unfortunately though, their weakness literally keeps them alive, kind of. Polar bears can't have kids, but they spawn with children alongside them, which could mean one of two things. Either we can't make the polar bears have kids and they do it privately, or, well...
You are not!
Killing them is as easy as letting them despawn. Endermen are super strong, and are actually the current reigning champion of the Minecraft Mob Olympics. So I want to know how to kill them easily. Obviously, standing in water is enough to beat them up, but they actually can't be turned invisible, because their eyes glow regardless of the invisibility potion. But they can just teleport, so maybe the water one is better anyway. Spiders' weakness is that they're beta males. No, seriously. They'll pick a fight with you at night, when it has other mobs to back it up, and it isn't afraid to swing first. But in the daytime, when it's alone, it's terrible. So the best way to mess it up is to wait for it to turn day, then just get the first hit in. The spider has no chance. Goats can be really annoying if you stand still for long enough, so getting revenge on them is a great idea, and I know exactly how. By putting copper ore near the goat, you can make it lose its horns. Pretty useful, but really, who's just carrying copper ore around to use on goats? Oh, fair enough. Trader llamas and llamas' biggest weaknesses are themselves.
What? How?
Well, settle down for one of Minecraft's greatest rivalries. If a llama spits on another llama, then the other llama spits back, creating an endless cycle of spitting and retaliating, which continues indefinitely until one of the llamas eventually dies. Yes, this isn't a joke. One of the llamas must eventually die by being spat on too much. Is that technically drowning? Wolves' biggest weakness is another mob, one which would scare any mob to the core. Not the warden, not the ender dragon, not the wither. Oh no, it's the bat. Okay, stay with me, let me explain. The tame wolf attempts to defend its owner and chases the bat in the caves. But because it can't fly unless you use commands, the wolf is just stuck chasing the bat, which lets other mobs make quick work of it. The only thing the bat is useful for. So don't let your dogs die in your survival world because of some stupid bats. You've been warned. Zombified piglins are so annoying, because most of the time starting a war with them all is an accident, and all of a sudden you've lost your gear to some beast of a zombified piglin. So how do you get it back? Well, if you one-hit a zombified piglin, it doesn't cost call for reinforcements, which means you can one-hit all of them and then take on the Big Don one-on-one, mano a mano, which you should probably win. Worst comes to worst, build a pillar and you're golden. Blazes are annoying but necessary to beat the game. So how do you kill them easily? Well, potions of invisibility also don't work on the blaze because they still show smoke, but also snowballs are extremely good at killing the blazes, especially if you have an enclosed spawner. Actually, that really makes sense when you think about it, because they're on fire and the snowballs are cold. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually rarely encounter husks in my own survival world, so killing them isn't really a priority for me, but when I do face them, I should remember to drown them, because they can't swim. This means that they just sit underwater and accept their fate, which is kind of messed up and sad, but I need that sand, man. What can I say? Slimes are a big one. Literally, they're the biggest mob in Minecraft. What else would you expect? They're actually really limited in being so big, because when you spawn in a massive slime, you'll probably see it despawn because of the way despawning works in Minecraft. It's pretty cool, actually. You should try it out. Chicken jockeys are killable, but here's the catch. Only killing the chicken and leaving the baby zombie alive is actually quite challenging, because the baby zombie's hitbox actually blocks off a lot of the chicken's hitbox. I guess it helps with killing the main attacker, but still, what if it was the chicken all along? Magma cubes are a nuisance in the nether, but killing them is actually fairly straightforward. Freezing them in powdered snow is the most effective way of killing them, because they take extra damage when freezing. I don't know how you could apply this to a vanilla survival world, but I suppose you could try. This one though, the spider jockey, isn't a weakness that the player causes. It's more of an inherent weakness. See, spider jockeys simply shoot slower than a normal skeleton would shoot, and so they get easily killed by a bow, a sword, or basically anything as long as you don't get hit by both the skeleton and the spider. It's that simple. But creepers are terrible for blowing up the base, which took you hours to build and perfect. But defeating them is easy, but you have to spot it first. If you do, then some bow shots will kill it and you can move on with your life. But the problem is if you don't see it first. In this situation, you have no time to react, with each passing millisecond being vital to survival. The faster you can block with your shield, the better. But if you don't have a shield, I don't know what to tell you, you're just gonna get smacked. The Phantom's weakness is the entirety of the Minecraft community. Granted, we were the dumbasses who voted it in the first place, but some of the things I've seen written about this thing are hilarious. I'd rather get chased by the police. I hate this thing more than my ex-wife. They're only some of the things that are said about the mob. So to get rid of them, just sleep. It'll prevent them from spawning for the next 3 days. In the meantime, I'm gonna go back to looking at Phantom comments. Strays, kinda like the husks, aren't very commonly encountered. At least not for me, but if I ever do find myself needing to kill one, I can also drown them. Granted, because they're found in cold biomes, it would be a bit harder, but I'll find a way to make it work. The only way I could think of getting past the Elder Guardian is milk. A lot. And I mean a lot of milk. You can eliminate mining fatigue for a short while and try to obtain easier access to the Elder Guardian, which is always useful. Actually killing it though is another thing. But I guess water breathing potions would do the trick. Drowned are a pain with their tridents and stuff, but there is an upside to them, being that a drowned chicken jockey floats to the surface because the chicken it's riding floats, causing the drowned riding it to burn in the sunlight during the day, resulting in a chicken in the middle of the ocean or a river, killing a drowned and stranding a chicken forever. The poor sod. Piglin brutes are really strong, so really, you're just gonna have to bow them down. I'm sorry, but there's not much of a better way to do it than that, other than taking potions. I guess one-hitting them would theoretically work, but actually doing that is a whole other thing. They're actually intended to just be avoided, so take an invisibility potion and you should be all good. The Vex's rival is simple. It's entropy, because they die up to 2 minutes after being spawned in by an evoker. The simple winding down of the universe is enough to claim the Vex's life. So in the meantime, run. Run far away. I'm not even joking. Just wait it out and they'll die eventually. Endermite's downfall is several things. Mainly that they're too slow and really weak, but if your ego is too big to run away, then just smack it a few times and you'll kill it. But beware, they do hit pretty hard, so careful how you take it on. If you're stuck in a box with it, you can drown it with water if you have a bucket full as well. There's a few things you can do to take him out, but pillagers are an annoyance, that's for sure. But taking them down is a breeze with doors. Yep, they can't open doors during or after raids, so maintaining villager safety shouldn't be a problem as long as you go and take them all out with a bow or a sword. As long as the village has doors, you should be all good killing pillagers. But vindicators hit like a truck, so if you want to avoid their axes at all costs, bowing them down is a solid option. But alternatively, you can just pillar up a few blocks and smack them. It's a really simple way of dealing with them, but you do have to be fast or you'll be caught with the axe. Good luck. Evokers are so annoying, but their biggest weakness is getting overexcited and picking a fight with a creative mode player. Due to a bug, hitting an evoker in survivor mode and converting the game mode to creative still causes the evoker to summon fangs and vexes at the player, although they do deal no damage. They're just asking for it at this point. Ravagers, the big bad cow, is terrified of one of the cutest mobs in Minecraft, or was anyway. Ravagers in this snapshot used to run away from rabbits, which is one of the sweetest things I've ever seen. Bunnies in Minecraft are cute anyway. How can you be scared of this little thing? Wardens are the strongest, the healthiest, and one of the fastest mobs in all of Minecraft. So what's its weakness? You can't pillar up because it'll sonic boom you, and it's pretty difficult to escape it. So the answer to the Warden's weakness is that it's blind. But wait, if you go into spectator mode and click on the Warden to see it from its perspective, it appears to be able to see perfectly well. So for the first time, time, I have to admit that I actually don't think there's a weakness to the warden. It's flawless. I don't know what to tell you. However, the gas does have weaknesses, but it is a real hassle to kill sometimes. Luckily, it gives you a way of killing it itself. You can just smack the fireballs back at the gas and kill it that way. I think everyone already knows that, but still, why would a gas shoot fireballs if it knows it's going to get killed? Shulkers are really annoying in end cities, but there is one thing which could help you kill them. Their biggest weakness is invisibility potions, because if they're hit by one, their shell goes invisible, but the actual shulker remains perfectly visible, which is kind of poor design from Mojang, to be honest. So if you accidentally splash one while you're going for yourself, you'll remain aware of where the shulker is. The witch is an easy mob to take out, because you can do it comfortably with bows or any ranged weapon. Even a fishing rod if you're in the right place at the right time. But guardians? How can you ruin their day? Well, in the water, you can cruise around with your sword and a water-breathing potion and mess them all up fairly comfortably, but if you want to torture them, if you want to make them go through real pain, you can trap them in a slime block trampoline and watch them bounce higher and higher. This would look so cool in a base, even if it breaks a few animal rights laws. This is my personal tactic for dealing with silverfish, so take it with a pinch of salt. What I do is I run up to the spawner and break it really fast, and if any silverfish come out, I make sure to one-hit them and only fight one at a time, so I don't get swarmed by the little rodents. This makes dealing with them far less stressful. Wither skeletons are always a stressor to have to kill. Even standing under the 2-block barrier like this is sometimes not enough. They still reach out and get you sometimes. So really, their weakness is ranged weapons and smite, but they are boring. So the most fun way to kill them is to not kill them at all, but to try and navigate around them. It's super intense and really fun. Skeletons are really annoying, but since they're so common, people have developed good ways of killing them. Shielding up, running away, or simply out-bowing them are great ideas. Or you could just do what I do and change my difficulty level to easy, because on easy mode, they can't shoot well at all. It's really embarrassing actually, for me and the skeleton. Skeleton horsemen are one of Minecraft's rarest naturally spawning mobs, with a slim percentage of spawning after a lightning strike. So if you ever happen to run into one, which I must admit I don't remember ever having done, you can rely on other mobs. Wait, what? Yeah, since the skeleton only targets the player and no other mobs, you can get the skeleton to shoot some other mob, then have that mob demolish the skeleton, which is probably the biggest brain move you could possibly do in all of Minecraft. Zoglin's biggest weakness is leashes, because they can be leashed up to a fence and left there indefinitely, unable to break free or attack anyone unless you get too close, keeping it hostage just to laugh at it. I should really do some self-reflecting. Are you ready for a quick list of all the ways you can kill a zombie? Well, if you aren't, I don't really care. You're getting the list anyway. It burns in the sunlight. It can be bowed down. It can be crossbowed down. It can be tridented down. It can drown and change species. It can be one-hitted by smite. It dies of fall damage, void damage, fire, ice. Basically, most things which can kill the player can also kill the zombie. And if he kills you in a one-on-one, you should quit Minecraft. Zombie villagers have all the weaknesses of a zombie and one more. They can be converted into villagers using golden apples and weakness potions, which makes a zombie villager the mob with the most weaknesses in all of Minecraft, I think. Now we have the Ender Dragon, and for a mob as big and as strong as this, it has a good few weaknesses. There's the beds, which I feel like everybody knows by now, and there's the fact that hitting it in the head does more damage than hitting the rest of its body. But the big one is the actual size of the dragon's hitbox, which is substantially bigger than the dragon's body. Loads of way to kill Minecraft's biggest villain. I have no excuse now. The Wither, though, is different. It puts up a solid fight no matter what, apart from two key ways in which you can absolutely destroy it without losing any health at all. The first one is to put it into the end portal frame and just smack it, which is probably the best way, but a fun way of doing it is getting a blaze and a wither onto the nether ceiling and letting them go at it. They both just constantly try to rise above each other, but they just go on forever. It's top tier viewing, I have to say. This isn't an ordinary bunny. Oh no. This is the killer bunny, which murders any player, wolf or fox in sight. But how can you get payback and kill it? Well, carrots and leads. They follow players holding carrots and can be leashed like the Zoglin, leading to what I can only describe as emotional manipulation on the player's behalf. It's quite bleak, but it's worth it in the end, I think. The Giant is a massive mob, but isn't actually categorized as an undead mob by Minecraft, despite being a massive zombie. This means a couple of things. Mainly that because it's not undead, it's susceptible to drowning. I don't know how you're gonna find water deep enough to drown it in, but that's not my problem. Steve, the player, is not only weak, but he is probably one of the worst mobs in the entire game. He can die in the same way as most of the mobs on this list. Falling, drowning, suffocating, dying in the void, and so many more things I couldn't list them all off here, even if I wanted to. If you can't kill yourself in Minecraft, then how can you expect to kill other mobs? Bats have to be Minecraft's most stupid mob, because their weakness is flying into things. More specifically, things that can end up killing them, like lava. Just watch the bats fly around and they'll end up killing themselves. Striders are really useful for getting around the nether on lava, so it's no surprise that their biggest weakness is not being in the lava, where they just flop around and, well, suffer. Killing them is a breeze if you can get them off the lava, otherwise you can ride around on a strider and kill other striders. Very effective. Cows and pigs' biggest weakness is the same thing, because let's be honest, killing them is easy. But there is a right way and a wrong way of killing them. The wrong way looks like this, just a normal kill. But for the top 1% of Minecraft players, using a flint and steel to cook the livestock alive is by far the best way of killing them, because they drop the cooked food after they die. The amount of people who don't know this is shocking. Tropical fish, cod, and salmon all can be killed with a fishing rod, which picks up the fish but also somehow kills them below the water, which is a very slick way of killing 3 different types of fish. Of course, you can also kill pufferfish with a fishing rod, but there's a cool fact that I actually want to share with you about them. Their hitbox actually expands with them when they're aggravated, so it's easier to kill an angry pufferfish than a calm one, technically. That is if you're fishing without a rod though. Horses, mules, and donkeys all have different weaknesses, so make sure to take notes. And if you haven't been taking notes, then I can't force you to start now, I guess. Okay, let's go. Horses' weakness is leads. They get dragged around and can be held in place. Pretty obvious. But mules' biggest weakness is that they can't have babies. What the hell is this script? Mules can't have babies, and that means you can kill them easier? I don't know. Okay, I'm just reading what's written. Donkey's weakness is being mistaken for a cow. Okay, this script is a joke. They don't even look the same. Killing a donkey gives the cow tipper achievement, even though you didn't kill a cow. I don't know how that helps you kill it, but okay. Parrots are held in place by jukeboxes, which let you get the first hit on a parrot, which is normally all you really need. Just make sure they don't dance their way out of the axe and you'll be fine. Also, honorable mention to cookies for destroying parrots as well. It had to be said. Cats' ultimate downfall is that some cats actually suffer from a condition. Both calico and white cats have a condition called heterochromia, leading to color differences in their eyes. This doesn't make them easier to kill, but might make them easier to spot. Man, I'm reaching hard with this one. They can't fight back. Just smack it with an axe. That'll do the job. This next one is one of the most tragic things I've ever had to bear witness to in Minecraft. Baby foxes are extremely cute, but they have one huge flaw. When they swim, they can't breathe. And if they stay in the water for long enough, they will drown. I know. But now that I told you all this, who's going to be the sick freak who starts doing this on one of their servers? It better not be you. Moving on from that gut wrencher, frogs would actually have fireflies as a weakness because originally frogs could eat fireflies in Minecraft. But this changed because real life fireflies are poisonous to frogs. Instead, now they eat small slimes and small magma cubes. Crisis well and truly averted. Rabbits are terrifying to ravagers, and certain species, like the killer bunny, can kill you very comfortably in Minecraft. But how can they be killed? Well, similarly to the bat, if you just kick your feet up and simply observe them in their day-to-day lives, they will jump off a cliff and kill themselves. Pretty dark, but I guess it's effective. If you don't want to wait, you can approach them slowly and smack them really hard. Snow golems die almost instantly in 2 specific parts of the world, and one of them really confuses me. The desert makes perfect sense, because snow golems quote-unquote melt in the heat of the sun, but the other is the ocean, which I, for one, don't understand. Oceans are the same temperature as most other biomes in the game, so why don't they just get to kill the snow golem? This makes no sense to me. Tadpoles are tempted by slime balls, so you can just get them all into one place, use a sweeping edge sword, and just smash them into oblivion. Very nice. Turtles, or more specifically baby turtles, are targeted by 4 different mobs. Do you know them? Well, they're targeted by zombies, drowned, stray cats, and foxes. And if they all end up in the same place, it looks like this. Once again, killing babies. Villagers are great for trading items, but their weakness is trading you items that can then be used against the villager to kill them. If they trade me an axe, I can use that axe to kill the villager, which is a cruel twist of fate. But speaking of cruel, we're going to end off with a wandering trader, which can not only be killed, but prevented from spawning with a command. Thank God. They're so incredibly annoying. But if you refuse to use commands, then I'm afraid genocide is the only option for you. Sorry, buddy. But speaking of murder, watch this video where multiple mobs like the villager and the warden die repeatedly to try and win the Olympics. You'll love it, I promise. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe!